How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the preseason interview with the coach of the Texas Tyranids, the Doorman. First and foremost, my friend, how are you doing today? How are you doing on this Wednesday here? How's everything going?
I am doing really good. It's one of those, if people have not known from other episodes and stuff like that, I have broken my arm. I'm doing fine. I'm basically just been sitting at home, chilling, letting it rest, propping it up, and just working on Season 4 of the EBL and other content and stuff like that.
You got to use that time, right? You got the time off, you know?
Oh, yeah,
May as well
definitely.
make the best of it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I keep forgetting to add this question to my list of questions here, and I'm gonna forget it in one of these interviews. So I need to write it down. But to any of the new fans, so let's say they're coming from the EBL channel, maybe they're coming from one of the other coaches, or maybe they're coming from a collab you're gonna do or something like that.
Yeah.
To any new fans of the Texas Tyranids, why don't you go ahead and give them a little introduction as to who you are, what you do, what your channel's about, and all that good stuff.
All right. So my name is Alan. My channel is named The Doorman, and basically I do ROM hacks, fan made games for my video series, with like Fakeamon and variant forms and stuff like that. And then for live streams, I do like theme nuzlocks. Like a while ago, I just finished my Avatar lock. I have done a static lock. I have done a ABC lock. And I'm probably gonna mix it with hardcore nuzlocks and stuff like that. But I like doing like the theme nuzlocks for live streams, because that gives me like opportunity to interact with the chat and stuff like that, and not have to pay attention to the storyline.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I do like your Nuzlocke variants. They are very interesting and unique. I will give you that.
Yeah, I've got like a whole list I went through one time, and I just found like something on DeviantArt where it was just a whole list of different Nuzlocke types, and I'm like, I'm just gonna copy all of these. Well, not all of them. Some of them were like difficult or like stupid, and I was like, no.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, I'm like, let's copy all the ones that I think I'm gonna like.
Yeah, I feel that finding ones that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Because when I've looked for Nuzlocks, there's some that no, it's terrible.
Like I've seen some of those where like you cannot heal in Pokemon centers. I'm like, that's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah. That's asking you to do a Nuzlocke for like 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the interview here. Our first question up is, what is going through your head as we continue to get closer to the start of the season?
I'm very excited for this season. We have a couple people. I know it's you, and I know we have Timmy B, and I think was there somebody else or no? That's like in the newer or at least recurring, because I know you are a recurring team member, coach, and then I know Timmy B. This is the first time he's ever done any stuff like this, so I'm excited to see what y'all bring to the table. My lineup is very interesting, and my team is also very, very interesting. I'm wondering what I could do with the team that I got.
There's a clear theme with your team, which we'll touch on later.
Yes, it's one of those. I'm glad I managed to pull it off, honestly, because I'll tell you about something about that in a little bit later too.
So as we get closer here, are you feeling more or less confident heading into this season compared to last season, which was your first?
I'm way more confident with this one because I actually was able to kind of think about in advance, all right, what natures, what abilities, what Pokemon, how am I going to design all these Pokemon? So versus last time, I was like, I'll just take these, I'll grind them up, and we'll just have to do the nature changes and all that stuff in between. That was not fun, trying to figure all that out and get everything done. I think there was one time I was trying to get Sandaconda's hidden ability, and I managed to just squeak by on like the last day before of the battle. So it's like I'm definitely better prepared this season, if anything. There's a little bit of a grind with this season, but I'm going to be way more prepared for like getting Pokemon set up and stuff like that.
All right. So speaking of preparations, how are they going so far?
They're going pretty well. I know mostly what everybody kind of does is save up BP for like nature changes, and then save up like ability capsules and ability patches and other stuff like that. I decided to go with the breeding route. I've already bred all my natures and all my abilities and all that stuff like that. Now I have a lot of Pokemon to choose from, which means I need a lot of bottle caps to IV train, but I feel like it's going to be easier in the long run if I have every single Pokemon that I can think of how I'm going to use a particular way all set up. Like I said, it is a little extra grind, but then whenever we go into the actual battles, I just like click you, click you, click you, change moveset, I'm done. We can practice battles and stuff like that.
Right. Has anything changed from the way you prepared compared to last season, like at all?
Like I said, the breeding and the bottle caps, and just thinking of like, okay, this is this one Pokemon. How am I going to use this in any fashion or safe way? And if I do, I need to go ahead and get it set up that way, so that way it's already set up that way. I don't have to try to change Pokemon in between.
Right.
It's just like
Makes
it's
sense.
more extensive thought in how I'm going to use everything, basically.
And I mean, ultimately, it makes it easier on you,
Mm-hmm.
even though it might be a little bit more of a grind.
Yeah.
So focusing a bit more on your team here, looking at the team you drafted, you put together Jirachi, Rayquaza, Rikuzi, Sceptile,
The
Torkoal, yeah, Torkoal, Aggron, Walrein, Claydol, Manectric, and Crawdont. You don't have to give anything away here, but how do you think your draft went?
It went really well. The only Pokemon I'm glad I managed to grab what I did was Jirachi. Because I don't know if you were in the chat whenever we were doing the pick. I was right before Derek.
Yeah.
And he wanted Jirachi, but I didn't know it. So that was the first Pokemon because I wanted to make sure I got Jirachi. So I got Jirachi. Literally within 2 seconds of me putting in Jirachi, he was like, he just sniped me.
Yeah.
That was the only, but other than that, nobody even came close to anything I wanted to grab, which is actually kind of cool. I'm just glad I got Jirachi when I wanted it, because that was before I even thought about what I wanted to do for the whole team, or whenever I finally decided what I wanted to do, the theme of the team. That was the first Pokemon I know I wanted to make sure I get out of everything, because I'm like, that's the one mythical. I can get other legendaries. That's the one mythical I definitely wanted.
Yeah. I'll give you a little insight. I knew he was going to draft Jirachi. I had seen his team, so the second that came up, I was like, oh. And then he immediately typed in the chat, so that's actually funny that you brought that up.
Yes. I thought that was so funny. I was dying laughing. I'm like, I'm sorry.
So, you, like we mentioned earlier, you have an obvious theme with your team. Was there a particular reason why you decided to go with only Hoenn Pokemon? Is that like your favorite region or something? Why the theme team here?
It's one of those, like, I'm weird. Like, I want to make competitive teams, but at the same time, my brain is like, what can I do to make this fun? And so, like, I think Humberto, me and him talked about one time, he tried to do, like, an all turtle team, all snake team and stuff like that. And I've even thought about doing, like, weather teams. And I was like, well, I tried the weather team. It kind of worked. It kind of didn't. That was my own fault. I tried to mix a little bit too much in there. So I'm like, let me just do generation teams. So I was like, okay, generation 1 through 8. So then I just went to a random number generator, and it spit out 3. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll do all Hoenn Pokemon. So it was one of those. I knew I was going to do a generation. I just didn't know which one. I just let fate randomly let me pick one. And it was like, you're going to do Hoenn. And I was like, okay, cool. I know which Pokemon I want from there.
Wow, okay. I like that. The random number generator, just kind of leaving it up to fate. And I personally think your team isn't that bad for just randomly choosing to go with Hoenn.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's pretty solid. How are you feeling about the team that you put together?
I am really happy with the team I put together. It's one of those, I had 1 or 2 other picks that I wasn't too sure of on, but it's one of those out of all together. Like I said, Jirachi was the only thing closest to being sniped. Other than that, I got every single Pokemon that I wanted. And they all have great synergy with each other. Is what I was also hoping for at the same time, because instead of like trying to think of like a certain gimmick or like a theme going about it, I'm like, let me just get all the Pokemon that can work really well together. If one dies or I have to switch with something, the other Pokemon could come in and still come up with like the same momentum and stuff like that.
Right. I think you did a good job. Like I said,
I
think your team came out well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna reiterate: you do not have to give anything away here. And you can feel free to not answer the question as well. Are there any Pokemon on your team that you feel have a good chance of getting an MVP throughout the season?
If I had to say anything, either like Rayquaza, because he is a fast Pokemon, well, decently fast, has decently high attack and special attack. Maybe him. Manectric, because I also want to make him like a fast boy, trying to like get up there and stuff like that. Actually, if I had to give it to any Pokemon, maybe those 2. Also, I'm it's not thinking he would, but getting Crawdont MVP would be kind of awesome. But other than that, not really. I wasn't really thinking about MVPs. I know it's sad to say, but I was more thinking of, like, what team can I use to win, if that made sense. Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, yeah.
I guess if I had to give it to anybody, probably Rayquaza, maybe Manectric. I would wish Crawdaunt would have one.
Crawdaunt's one of those sneaky, powerful Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe might be able to get away with that.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Interesting.
If I can play the cards right, if I can play the cards exactly right, I see him getting an MVP.
Yeah. The Swords Dance will be very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, do you feel that there are any underrated Pokemon on your team that maybe other people should have picked up before you?
Not that other people should have picked up, but I feel like, again, Crawdaunt, if I could get him somewhat either correctly or by the way what I'm strategizing, he'll still be really good. Manectric, I know he doesn't have like the biggest move pull, but considering the Pokemon I chose and what he can learn, I feel like he could probably do a lot more than what people think. Everybody loves Torkoal. I know I did Walrein. I want him to be really good and be like, hey, this Pokemon can be good. But Walrein and Claydol, I know Humberto, Guanaco helped me kind of pick on those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Claydol's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely.
You can do a few things with it. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty interesting.
I already have a couple things I'm thinking about in my head.
I'm sure.
It's just the only thing I will say is that may or may not see Trick Room shenanigans again this season.
Ooh.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It depends.
How do you feel about your team in terms of how it'll be able to stack up against the rest of the league?
I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I'm probably somewhere about in the middle. It's one of those, I feel like other teams have been definitely a lot better than mine, but it's one of those, I feel like I'm probably a lot better off than some other teams. Not shooting any teams down, but I just remember last season with the way I picked, I was like at the bottom of the rank, and I knew it was because of my type advantage, my type weaknesses and stuff like that. But with the team that I have now, I feel like I'm going to be like more in the middle. I'm like more stable, if anything. Nothing too outstanding, but don't underestimate me at the same time.
Solid enough to win a few matches.
Definitely.
So moving back to the league here, taking the bigger scope of things. You're in the Kanto division in the Dynamax conference, alongside the Atlanta Braviary, Stone Family 64, and the SXS Beyonds, the current champions. Also, the Atlanta Braviary, Matt is the commissioner as well. So you got a bit of a high-profile division here. What were your thoughts when you saw who you got put in with in your division?
I'm in danger. It's one of those it's one of those. I'm not saying Matt isn't scary, but he is a commissioner. Like, it's one of those, Matt is scary because he is the commissioner. That, like, he has proved to be, like, a solid battler. And then, of course, you got the champion of the last season. I'm just like, hi, how you doing today? Don't kill me too bad.
Please take it easy.
Yeah.
Looking at your schedule here, you face off against Matt week 1. So you go ahead and get the commissioner right away. Then you face off against the Florida for Alligators, which is going to be an interesting one. Face off against the Kentucky Kinglers in week 3. Yours truly in week 4. And then the SX Espeons is how you're going to round out the season. Did seeing your schedule make you more excited for this season to start?
Excited, but also terrified. Because I'm like, you got the commissioner, you got the previous champion, you got a good runner-up, and then you have you. I've never seen you fight before. So I'm gonna have to definitely go back. I think it's season 2 and season 1, or just okay. I'm gonna have to go back and watch. I'm gonna have to go back and watch your videos to know your kind of style a little bit. Even then, you could have changed between now and then. And then I also have the current champion. So I'm just like, I don't know how far I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna try my hardest.
So looking at your schedule in terms of difficulty, how would you rate it out of 10?
Out of 10, a good 8.5 to 9.5. Like, it's one of those. It's not impossible. I'm gonna have to get really lucky, or it's just one of those. It just goes. Like, well, I guess it's part of that. I have to get really lucky on some of my plays, if anything.
I think it'll come down more to skill.
Oh yeah, that too.
Is there anyone not on your schedule that you would like to face at some point during the season?
That's not on my schedule. Let me see, actually. Because I know last season, me and Max fought, and we were already rivals for for the cage lock that we did, and that was fun with that. And then it's one of those this season we're partners in a collab right now, and we don't get to fight each other. So I am sad we don't get to fight against each other. Probably also like NateTube. He hasn't really done too much. I think like this is also that was the other person that was first starting out their stuff. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
NateTube, I would love to try to battle him and see if, because we're both somewhat like inexperienced, I wonder how that battle would turn out and stuff like that. And also
his first full season.
Mm-hmm.
I will throw that out there.
So Max, NateTube, and I forgot to say, but TimmyB, just because Max, we just have an old rivalry, and then with NateTube and TimmyB, I've never seen them fight before. Because NateTube did fight last season, but it wasn't his team, so
yeah,
I would like to see how they fight and stuff like that.
Good answer. Looking at the league, which teams do you feel are looking the most dangerous, not including your own?
I'm gonna have to actually go back and see the teams because I kind of forgot who had what. Let me see. I will say that your team I know is terrifying there. You've got the Excadrill, the Mewtwo, the Thundurus, Aerodactyl. You've got a lot of speed, and if you don't, like with the Duraludon, the Leafeon, you've got a lot of bulk. Landon's team looks a little bit scary there. Let me see, when we go to the Dynamax division. Essex, of course, he's going to be terrifying. I'm looking at NateTubes, and he's got a pretty interesting team. So, yeah. Let's see, out of the Mega Division, you, Landon, would be very terrifying here. Not saying everybody else will, but out of the two that I could pick, definitely for Mega Division, y'all two. And then Essex, Pidge, and then NateTube. I would see.
I will say we've had some common answers. NateTube has been mentioned, but hasn't really been a pick.
Yeah.
But Pidge and also Bob have been I'd say probably the most common picks in the interviews I've done so far. I was kind of, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to like influence your decision, but I was just curious to see what you would pick. The two of them have been very common answers, rightfully so. They're the two people who were in the finals last season.
Oh yeah, no, rightfully so. They are terrifying in their own way, honestly.
On the flip side, are there any teams you feel might be underestimated but perform beyond the expectations that are put on them?
I know the commissioners, Matt's, because he chose an all-bug team. If nobody knew about it, he chose an all-bug team, and I feel like his team is actually going to do really, really good despite being all-bug. Not saying anything bad about bug types, but it's one of the more not used types, if that makes sense. Yeah. I will say a little bit my team just because it's all Hoenn region. I don't have a lot of, top picks and stuff like that. And then Derek, just because of how he built his team. I would like something really cool to be able to see come out of that team.
Yeah, his team's interesting.
Yes, his team is also interesting. I think out of how many people here? I know me, Derek, Guanaco, and Matt. We were the only ones that really had like themes to our teams.
Luigi's team is actually Beauty and the Beast themed.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he probably have to point out all the characters to you. I don't know if you can figure it out on your own, but yeah, his team is Beauty and the Beast themed.
Okay, I see that actually. That is really cool.
Yeah.
I see that now. Look at that. Now when I was Beauty and the Beast, I actually see that now. And that's like really amazing actually how that turned out for him.
That was crazy when he told that to me. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Again, though, for this question, there were also two common answers that you also said. Matt, just purely because he has an all bug team. No, nothing against Matt. And then Derek's team, it's a little all over kind of. especially considering he drafted a hunter.
Yeah.
So
I still find that hilarious. He's like, I want hunter.
He stuck to his guns with his theme, and credit to him.
Yes, I will give him credit.
So yeah, those have been the couple of common answers. And Nate and Timmy, purely because Timmy's new and it's his first season, real season with his team.
Yeah.
So those have kind of been the common ones. Not that surprising.
Yeah.
So focusing back onto your team here, how do you think you will perform this season?
Between who my opponents are and what my team is and everything, I think I'll come out hopefully decent. I'm not saying I won't. I don't expect me to be rolling over everybody, being like, ha ha ha, you're all weak and pathetic. More, I'd be like, I'm gonna try to give my college effort, my whole everything, and I think I'm gonna come out pretty decent against everybody.
Are there any specific goals you might have for this season, whether they're short term, winning week 1, or long term, winning the championship?
It's gonna be the same as last season. I would love to make it to the playoffs at least. I want to try to make it to there. That is my goal. Once I get to the goal, then we'll figure out what to go from there. But I would like to at least make it to the playoffs.
That's a simple goal, but you know what? It could be really big. Who knows? Maybe you make it to the playoffs and you'll win it all. So
oh yeah,
it's a good start. It's a good stepping stone. And now the final question to top off the interview. Why are you going to be champion of the Elite Battle League at the end of the season?
Better prep time, and again, I know some people say, well, you need skill in order to do this. I'm like, I have decent skill, I need luck. If it basically just how it is. It's one of those, I did better preparations. I guess that's where the skill comes in. I did better preparations, better grinding, better thought process, stuff like that. And then the other side is all luck. Because that's half of what Pokemon is. It's just RNG.
I agree with that one. Go back and watch the Texas Tyranitar's Week 1 last season.
Yeah.
It's a big show of how luck can affect things.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So there it is. With the interview portion of this out the way, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you. Go ahead and plug anything you got, socials, projects, merch, etc., etc. I'm gonna toss it over to you.
In the description, I do have my own Discord group. We can join in. We're trying to be a community where everybody's family a little bit. You can be whoever you are. I do have TikTok. I'm trying to get a series halfway started where it's you have a young trainer, a old veteran trainer playing since Gen 1, and then you got a PokéTuber, and it's jokes and little skits and stuff like that. I know by this point I should have Pokemon Infinity out. I know me and Matt, I don't know if we're done with the Rocket Lock or not, because we're doing a Team Rocket Edition Rocket Lock, which is pretty cool. And then in that own game, there's a morality system. I'm the good cop, he's the bad cop.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, yeah. But like I said, come over to the Discord, come join it. It's not very much active, but I'm pretty sure hopefully the more people listen in, the more active we'll be. Check out TikTok, and then check out the Pokemon Infinity series. By this point, it should be out for a decent little bit by now.
There you go. Check out all that good stuff. And of course, subscribe. I mean, you don't want to miss any of these amazing battles that are going to be coming your way very soon. Sorry, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on you there.
Like I said, I'm gonna try my best. I'm in the training. It's one of those. I damaged myself. I gotta rest. I gotta train, and then I'll be back bigger and stronger. Yeah.
This is big training arc, guys. Big training arc. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This has been our preseason interview with the coach of the Texas Tyranitar's, the Doorman. Be sure to show some love his way. Like I said, subscribe and do all that good stuff alongside all the other coaches in the Elite Battle League. The season does start on September 3rd. That is the first Saturday of September. Okay. So that's when you can catch the first match of the Elite Battle League on this channel, on all the other channels in the from all the other coaches in the Elite Battle League and all that good stuff. September 3rd, that's when the season kicks off. One final question for you. Are there any final words you have for the fans of the Texas Tyranitar out there?
We're going to try our best, and that's all I can ever ask for. We just try our best, and if we don't do it, we go home, and we try again.
There it is. Keep on trucking, even when you get knocked out. I love it. I wish you good luck, good sir, on the season, and we'll be seeing all of the rest of you real soon for the start of Season 4. Take care.
Bye.